Welcome guys. Welcome to the third section of Indian Constitution, Chapter 1st, Class 8 Civics, Fundamental Rights in detail. The fundamental rights are 6 in number, and in the beginning it was 7. Now right to property from the fundamental rights has been deleted. So right to property is now not a fundamental right. Only 6 fundamental rights are there, and they are as follows. Number 1, right to equality. Number 2, right to freedom. Number 3, right against exploitation. Number 4, right to freedom of religion. Number 5, cultural and educational rights. Number 6, right to constitutional remedies. So we shall discuss one by one. First come to right to equality. Right to equality refers to all persons are equal before the law. All persons shall be equally protected by the law. No citizen can be discriminated on the basis of religion, caste, or sex. Every person has access to all public places. The state cannot discriminate anyone in matters of employment. The practice of untouchability is prohibited. So, right to equality refers that all are equal before law. Nobody is above the law, and the same law is applied to all. So all persons shall be protected equally by law. Law will protect all equally in an equal manner. It will treat everybody in an equal manner. No citizen can be discriminated on the basis of religion, caste, or sex. So equality must be there in every sphere, and no discrimination on the basis of religion, caste, or sex. Every person has access to all public places like park, gardens, hospital, bank, school, college, etc. The state cannot discriminate anyone in matters of employment. So, in matters of jobs, employment, the state or government cannot discriminate any person on grounds of place of birth, color, caste, race, sex, etc. All will be getting equal opportunity in the case of employment. The practice of untouchability is prohibited. Untouchability, in Indian society, it's a great social evil, and it has been abolished by law because it stands against equality. So it is the worst form of inequality in Indian society, and its practice has been prohibited or abolished. Untouchability refers to that some high caste people do not touch the low caste. They do not allow them to the public places used by the higher castes. That is already abolished. Then right to freedom. Right to freedom of speech and expression. We can speak. We can express our feelings. Right to form associations. People can form unions, organizations, associations for a peaceful purpose. Right to move freely and reside in any part of the country. We can have free movement. We can live in any part of the country. We can have house in any part of the country. We can settle. Right to practice any profession, occupation, or business. So anybody can practice any profession, any occupation, any work, any job, any business according to their ability and desire, which should be social, not unsocial, or which should be according to law, not illegal. Right against exploitation. Exploitation means overuse, shoshan. It prohibits trafficking of human beings. Here, trafficking of human beings means selling and purchase of human beings. Forced labor. Forced labor refers to the labor which is obtained or which is used by paying no wages or less wages. That is forced labor. A laborer is forced to do work without payment or with less payment, and children under 14 to work in dangerous works. So under the age of 14, the children should not work in dangerous works like factories, BD works, or in BD factories, in firecrackers factories. Right to freedom of religion. Every person has the right to practice, profess, and propagate any religion. So religious freedom is given. India is a secular country. So it has no interference in the religion of persons. Religion is personal, purely individual. So anybody can practice, profess, propagate, reject, or accept any religion according to his or her own choice. Cultural and educational rights. All minorities can set up their own educational institutions to preserve and promote their own language and culture. So the minority groups in our country, like Muslims, Jains, Buddhists, Parsis, they can have their own educational institutions. They can promote their own language. They can educate their people in their own language by establishing institutions, and they can promote their art, dance, music, culture of their own. That is according to cultural and educational rights. Everybody has the right, the freedom to promote their own culture and education. And the last is right to constitutional remedies. It is the heart and soul of Indian Constitution that Ambedkar has said. As a body has no value without heart and soul, it becomes dead. It is useless. Like that, without this right to constitutional remedies, this is the most important fundamental right, without which other rights are valueless, useless, meaningless. It allows citizens to move to the court when the fundamental rights are violated. So when all the fundamental rights, that is right to equality, freedom, exploitation, freedom of religion, are violated by any person or any government or any agency, if it is not given to anybody, if it is snatched away the fundamental rights by anybody, then with the help of this right to constitutional remedies, a person can go to the court of law, even directly High Court and Supreme, to return his or her rights. So this is right to constitutional remedies. It's a remedy. It can prevent all the rights from being exploited, and it can safeguard all the rights being violated. Then DPSP, Directive Principles of State Policy. It's a part of fundamental rights. But the basic difference between fundamental rights and DPSP, or Directive Principles of State Policy, is that fundamental rights are enforceable by the court of law. But DPSP, or Directive Principles of State Policy, is not enforceable by court of law. These are directives. These may be observed, may be obeyed, may not be obeyed. As our country is a welfare country, Welfare is the main aim of a democratic country. So we have adopted certain directive principles of state policy, and it has been borrowed from the Irish constitution. It is mainly meant for the improvement of the country, welfare of the country, development of the country in the field of social, education, and economic. It ensures greater social and economic reforms. So, social and economic reforms are the main aim of directive principles of state policy. It serves as a guide to the states to make laws and policies to reduce poverty. So, the constitution gives directions to the states, to India, to the central government, to the state governments, to make some laws and policies, schemes, programs to reduce poverty, that is economic reform, and to reduce social disparity, social discrimination, to improve their social backgrounds. So, for social and economic development, this directive state principles of state policy works. It is not enforceable by the court of law. If the constitution directs the government to do certain welfare for the people, if the government refuses to it, government is not able to do it due to financial problems or any administrative problems, inconvenience, then it cannot be suited as a case in the court of law. But in the case of fundamental rights, if it is violated, anybody can go to the court of law and it can be returned. Okay, so in this way we concluded the topic, and I think you may like it.